Hey guys, Musa here, and today I'm bringing you my super wildcard weekend matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. Now, without a further ado, let's get started. Now, let's kick it off with the injury report of the Cleveland Browns, starting off with Dustin Hopkins, Cedric Tillman, and Grant Delpit. Hopkins has a hamstring injury, concussion for Tillman, and Delpit has a groin injury. All three of them are out for this game. Then we move on to the questionable players. Cornerback Mike Ford with a calf injury, running back Pierre Strong with a back injury, safety Juan Thornhill with a calf injury, and cornerback Denzel Ward with a shoulder and knee injury. And then we move on to the players who are either gonna play or are still unknown. And that is Joel Bitonio with an oblique and knee injury, the guard. The punter, Corey Bojorks, whatever his name is, he has a quad injury. Amari Cooper, wide receiver, with a heel injury. Quarterback Joe Flacco with a calf injury. Defensive end Myles Garrett with a shoulder and hamstring injury. Wide receiver Marquise Goodwin with a knee injury. And we then have safety Berman Harmon with an ankle injury. Then defensive end Shelby Harris with a shin injury. A groin injury for running back Kareem Hunt. A calf injury for linebacker Jordan Kunansky. I think that's how I say it. Maybe not. Then cornerback Greg Newsome II with a knee injury. A knee injury as well for tight end David Njoku. And defensive end Ogbo Oronkwo. I think that's how you say it. With a pectoral and a groin injury. Alongside center Ethan Posich with a shoulder and stinger injury. Now, I believe all of the, or most at least, of the players who are unknown will be playing. Definitely Joe Flacco, definitely Myles Garrett, definitely Marquise Goodwin. They're all going to be playing. Greg Newsome as well, and Jordan Kunansk as well. Ethan Posich, they're all going to play. Joel Bitonio as well. But out of the four players who are currently questionable, I actually think that only one will not play. And that is cornerback Mike Ford. I think Mike will not be able to play in this game. Everyone else, I think, will be healthy enough to play today against the Houston Texans. Now, moving on to the starting offense of the Cleveland Browns, we got Joe Flacco at quarterback, Jerome Ford at running back, Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and possibly either James Porsche, David Bell, or Marquise Goodwin as the three wide receivers. David Njoku at tight end, Jaron Christian at the left tackle position, Joel Bitonio at the left guard position, Ethan Posich at center, right guard Wyatt Teller, and tackle on the right side, James Hudson. This Cleveland Browns team has everything they need on offense. They have been winning under Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, I believe, is, well, not Joe exactly, but the team, the Cleveland Browns, are starting their fourth quarterback, which is Joe Flacco. And this is the first time any team that has started four quarterbacks throughout the season makes the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. I am not 100% sure about that. But the fact is, the Cleveland Browns came from basically sucking with their current quarterback, which is Deshaun Watson, to now being in the playoffs thanks to Joe Flacco, a man who, like a month or so ago, was sitting on his couch unemployed. That's what he was doing. He was brought in, and guess what? He's brought the Browns to the playoffs. But in the end, this is going to be an interesting game for the Cleveland Browns, whether they win or lose. Now, moving on to the defense, we got defensive ends Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith. Defensive tackles Dalvin Tomlinson and Jordan Elliott. Then we got strong side linebacker Simone Takitaki. And then we go to weak side linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and inside linebacker Tony Fields II. And then we go to cornerbacks Greg Newsome II. Denzel Ward is currently questionable. If he cannot go, Martin Emerson might be the one stepping up for this game. Then we get the free safety if Juan Thornhill cannot go, then Ronnie Hickman will take over, while D'Anthony Bell is the starting strong safety. This defense is gonna have their just gonna be a very tough game. This rookie quarterback on the other side, CJ Stroud, is so amazing that honestly, he brought them from a number one seeded team, the worst team in the second worst team in the NFL last year, to the playoffs as a division champion. Obviously, to the AFC South, so that might have been a reason why. But the fact that he, as a rookie, along with his rookie head coach, which is D'Amico Ryans, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name, they've come so far, and now they're here in the playoffs, ready to take on the Cleveland Browns. And this Browns defense is definitely going to have some trouble against that Houston offense. Now, moving on to the Texans injury report, and that will start with Jerry Hughes, defensive end with an ankle injury. He's the only player who's listed as out right now. Then we got questionable players. Rookie defensive end Will Anderson Jr. with an ankle injury. Wide receiver Noah Brown with a back injury. Defensive tackle Malik Collins with a hip injury. Defensive end Jonathan Greenard with an ankle injury. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankings with a shoulder injury. Wide receiver Robert Woods with a hip injury. And fullback Andrew Beck with a calf injury. And most likely to play is Michael Dieter with an elbow injury, as he is currently listed as most likely ready to go. I think he will be playing. But in the end, I do think that these guys, they're all going to be playing. Other than Jerry Hughes, obviously. But every other player who is questionable and the center, Michael Dieter, will be playing in this game. I don't think that they would waste one single second on, maybe if the injury is too severe, maybe they bench him and start him next week if they make it past the Cleveland Browns. But right now, this team is on fire, and I think that even though they have a certain amount of injuries, I think it's going to be mute for the Houston Texans. Now on to the next offense, which is led by rookie quarterback CJ Stroud, the second overall pick this last draft. Then we go to Devin Singletary at running back, Andrew Beck at possible fullback. If he can't go, then most likely will play without a fullback. Then Nico Collins, Noah Brown. If he can't go, we got John Mechie III, possibly Robert Woods and Xavier Hutchinson as a third wide receiver or a second wide receiver, depending on what happens with Noah Brown. Then we go Dalton Schultz at tight end. Then we also have the left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, the left guard, Juice Scruggs, the center, Michael Dieter, the right guard, Shaq Mason, and George Fant at right tackle. Now, this offense has been on point. This offense led by CJ Stroud has been on point. They have been incredible this season. Enough to get them into the playoffs. And I honestly think that the Cleveland Browns defense, this game, is going to have a lot of trouble against these guys. I don't think it's a full guarantee. But don't count out the Houston Texans, as I think that they could actually take down the Cleveland Browns on defense. And if the defense of the Houston Texans, which I'm going to talk about later, if they actually make it past the offense of the Browns, well, that would be sayonara for Cleveland. And hello for the next round to the Houston Texans. Now on to the defense. We got Will Anderson, and if he can't go because he's questionable, Derek Barnett is right behind him. Then we get the Jonathan Greenard. If he can't go either, we got Myjai Sanders or possibly Derek Barnett, depending on whether Anderson plays or not. Then we get defensive tackles Malik Collins and Sheldon Rankins. Both questionable, so if either of them can't go or one of them can't go, we got Khalil Davis and Kurt Hinish right behind them. Then we go on to linebackers. Strong side linebacker Blake Cashman, inside linebacker Denzel Perryman, and weak side linebacker Christian Harris. Then on to the cornerbacks, we got Derek Stingley, Steven Nelson, And then the safety, this free safety is Jalen Peter. I think, I don't know how I say that. And the Andre Houston Carter at strong safety. As I stated, this defense has what it takes to take down the Cleveland Browns. This defense led by D'Amico Ryans. D'Amico Ryans is a former defensive player, and he, if I'm not mistaken, was a defensive coordinator for the 49ers last year. So this guy's defense is honestly on point, and it has been all season. It has been giving chances to CJ Stroud in certain games. And honestly, I think that this defense will be doing just fine against the Cleveland Browns. Now, in conclusion, I in fact believe that the Houston Texans will take the win 16-24 against the Cleveland Browns. Browns will be taken down and out of the playoffs while the Houston Texans advance to the divisional round. Now, this game is going to be very interesting to watch, both because of the Houston Texans and the Cleveland Browns, both of them having their own reasons why they're here, and both of them having reasons of why they are interesting. And honestly, the Cleveland Browns playing with Joe Flacco at quarterback, and then we got CJ Stroud, a rookie quarterback, with his rookie head coach, D'Amico Ryans, coaching their first playoff game, and Stroud playing in his first playoff game ever. And this is going to be interesting. I don't think they will make the Super Bowl. They'll definitely make their mark today against the Cleveland Browns. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think will win, and who do you think will lose? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe, and hit the notification if you want more videos. And I'll see you guys next time.